Okay, welcome back to another video. Today I am talking about me deciding to get a new fitness tracker. Now for context, I've been using the Fitbit HR Inspire for about 4 years now, and I've liked it. I mean, I initially bought it because it had I believe a 5-day battery life. It had a relatively good price. It was about $90 to $100, I believe, at the time. And also the construction of it was what seemed like to me really durable, because I've mainly worked in physical labor jobs. So I'm not the most careful when it comes to reaching for things, bumping into things, I'm just kind of on the go. So the main reason I got that was I just needed to know the time without having to reach for my phone. And I wanted it to be able to survive pretty much the day-to-day life that I live with my work and everything else. And, all the other features were just kind of nice to have. So the sleep tracking, the steps for the day, calories burned, all that. I am relatively into fitness, but I wouldn't say that I go by the book with these trackers. Like, I'm not very how do I say, I'm not very hardcore about it, I guess. I'm not thinking about, oh man, this is super accurate, this and that. It's just kind of a rough guideline to what goes on through my day, how I slept, the hours I slept, all that jazz. Now, for me, fitness trackers have never really been about wanting to reply to messages, even caring that I have a notification, none of that stuff. And that's mainly due to the reason when you go to those more higher end devices, one, they're higher end. So for me, the possibility of breaking it hurts my wallet and my heart a little bit more, because, spent more money on something nice with more capabilities. But at the same time, if I'm damaging it, then it's kind of like I have to replace it sooner. So durability is a really big thing, or was a really big thing for me. Now, fast forward to today, 4 years after, the Fitbit still works about the same. Battery life is, I would say, still about 5 days, but over the course of the years, the charging connection isn't the best anymore. So I have to really mess around with the cable for it to even possibly charge. It's just kind of annoying. So I was itching to upgrade, and I did end up buying the Amazfit BIP 5, which I'll show it here. Honestly, this product was really good. I enjoyed I had this, so I did have this watch for a month. I tested it, I tested the BIP 5 and the Fitbit Inspire on the same arm. I wore it for about a week, both of them simultaneously. And so I did end up wearing the Amazfit BIP 5 and the Fitbit for a week together. And I compared that data, and fast forward to another week or two after that, I ended up returning the BIP 5, and I ended up buying a refurbished Galaxy Watch 4. And I'll show you guys a little bit of the data. So this is kind of what it looks like. So for the 6-day report, the Amazfit recorded more total sleep minutes than the Fitbit did by about 234 minutes. Deep sleep, same thing. The Amazfit ended up recording more than the Fitbit by about 166 minutes. Now, when it came down to REM sleep, the Fitbit did record more than the Amazfit. Time awake, the Amazfit recorded 2 minutes, and the Fitbit recorded 329 minutes, which, I mean, I do recall waking up a good chunk through the night. I wake up, I wouldn't say I fully wake up, but I'm aware that I'm kind of awake. So I think the Amazfit's kind of lacking in the time awake department. But honestly, I'm not exactly sure. I have no real scientific way to prove this, but this is just kind of the information I have with it. Now, I did the same thing with the Galaxy Watch 4 and the Amazfit BIP 5. Same thing, wore it for about a week. And these are kind of the results. For total sleep minutes, I ended up getting a little bit more with the Amazfit, 178 minutes more for the week. And deep sleep, same thing. I got 249 minutes more than the Galaxy Watch 4. Now, when it came down to REM sleep, The Galaxy Watch 4 did beat the Amazfit by about 24 minutes. Time awake, the Galaxy Watch recorded 292 minutes and the Amazfit recorded 2, difference of 290 minutes. Now, I feel like this is probably more accurate to what I actually sleep because I do wake up throughout the night and not fully wake up, but like I am aware that I'm awake for a couple minutes and then I just go back to sleep. Average sleep score was kind of around the same thing, so difference of about 6, but honestly, I don't pay attention much to sleep score. I just kind of look at these numbers when I wake up and just to kind of get an estimate of what I did for the night, but not really. Oh, I do feel like a 96. I do feel like a 89. Like I don't, this is just kind of whatever to me. But yeah, it's kind of interesting just to kind of see. It seems like the Fitbit and the Galaxy Watch 4 are a little more equal to calculating the time awake minutes. This seems more accurate to me than the 2 minutes of awake time because I do not sleep all through the night. So yeah, that's pretty much it with sleep. The steps calculated. So this is just whatever the app says that I ended the day with steps. This is exactly what's written down, all the information. So it's kind of crazy, right? Like this one, so for Fitbit and Amazfit, it says these are the 2 steps for the day, and there's a difference about 2,555 steps. That's a pretty big difference, I would say, in my opinion. I did wear both of these watches on the same wrist. As far as distance, there isn't much of a difference. There was like a almost half-mile difference between both of them, which, again, they were both worn at the same time, so do with that what you will. But my concern is the calories, right? So it says I have a 2,700 calorie difference between the Fitbit and the Amazfit, which that's pretty crazy, And if you're someone that's like really into fitness and you're kind of going off of just the Fitbit app, I don't know if I would really trust this. Again, I have no like scientific way of proving that this is all accurate, and maybe the 2,800 calories is valid, but also, what about the 138 for the day? It's just kind of, I don't know, pretty big difference in data. So do with that what you will. I did see out of this whole 5, 6 day report that the Fitbit recorded significantly more steps than the BIP 5. However, there was a time that the BIP 5 had higher distance calculated, but less steps than the Fitbit, right? So kind of here, the 27, 28, 29 Fitbit. On the 27th, the Fitbit had 5,000 more steps. On the 28th, Fitbit had 4,000 more steps, and on 29th had 3,000 more steps. Yet the Amazfit beat it on the 27th by 2 miles, on the 28th by 0.18 miles, and the 29th about 1.5 miles. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I don't really understand how this all works, but it was interesting to kind of log and just see the difference between the Fitbit that I've been wearing for 4 years and the Amazfit BIP 5 that I've been wearing for about a month-ish now. And moving on over to comparing the Watch 4 to the Amazfit BIP 5. It was a little more different, I'd say. I feel like these numbers are a lot more reasonable than the Fitbit, but again, I have no way of telling if this is scientifically accurate or whatever. It's just kind of the data I got from the apps, right? So on the 7th, the Watch 4 calculated 1,400 more steps than the BIP 5 at a 0.78 mile difference. And the Amazfit calculated more calories burned than the watch did for that day, about almost 500 calories more. On the 8th, same thing. Watch 4 calculated about 1,100 more steps, 1 mile more, but the Amazfit calculated 500 calories burned more than the Galaxy Watch 4. And that's like a common trend that I kind of noticed, right? More steps and more distance on the Galaxy Watch 4, but for some reason the BIP 5 always had a higher calorie reading. So again, take all this with a grain of salt. It's not a scientific test, but this is just kind of what I ran into when testing both of these out. One other thing I did do was I calculated individual workouts. So besides going about my day, when I would go on my morning and afternoon walks to walk my dog with my wife, I would activate the walking feature on both watches, not just let it automatically detect it. Here are all the numbers, right? So you'll see a repeat from the 3/8 because I used 2 workouts for that day. I ended up doing one for the other ones, but I just kind of forgot here and there. So yeah, this is why I have these dates here. Out of all this, I'd say with the same distance as the BIP 5 for each workout, and the calories aren't too off. Where it does seem to change is with the speed. So the BIP 5 records a higher speed than the Watch 4 does for the most part, and everything else is like about the same. Again, this is just what I collected, and I just thought it was interesting to kind of compare all of these since, people do use these fitness trackers as like a strict part of their fitness routine. I am not that person, but people do. It's kind of interesting to see all the information. So what I did instead was just compare 2 and 2. I ended up returning the Amazfit BIP 5, and I really enjoy the product. I didn't return it because it was a bad product. I ended up returning the Amazfit BIP 5 because, to me, I didn't know what I wanted until I had it. So I bought it. I thought it had certain capabilities and it didn't, which for me, the biggest thing, which was kind of little, but the biggest thing was not being able to reply to text messages, either typing out what you want on your little watch or also just using voice to text, which I don't use often, but just the fact that I'm able to do that with the Galaxy Watch is phenomenal. Again, I don't do it often, but it does come in handy when you need it. One of the biggest trade-offs, I would say, from upgrading from the BIP 5 to the Galaxy Watch was really just the battery life. With the Galaxy Watch, I can charge it. I can put it to charge at 5 in the morning and take it off the charger at 6. And by the time it hits around 7 p.m., it's about 10% left. So it really only lasts me the day. So I do have to charge this. If I'm going in the shower, charge it while I'm showering. Once I wake up from recording my sleep, then I put it to charge again just to kind of get more of a charge for the day. So one big drawback is definitely the battery life. Aside from that, the watch has a lot more capabilities. Not that I'm really using everything, I am using some of the workout trackings, the walking, setting timers with voice assistant, things like that. I'm not really like a power user, I would say. But even then, it lasts just a day. Kind of sucks. Maybe it's because it's a refurbished one. This cost me $60. 60. And it's possible that the battery is just old and I could buy a new one and try to replace it myself. That is a little intimidating as I don't want to mess this up. Although it was only $60, the 1-day battery life isn't bothering me too much, to the point that I'm itching to try to upgrade the battery myself and, potentially damaging the watch. And so I'm going to play around with that. See, maybe in the future I'll do that for another video. But overall, I really enjoy this watch, the Galaxy Watch 4, and I really enjoyed the BIP 5. I mean, it has Alexa capabilities, and you would think with just that, you'd be able to reply to messages and, do everything that you could since it already has an assistant, but you can't. You can change the preset messages and you can type your own, but at the end of the day, it's still all preset messages. It's not something you can type up on the fly. So kind of annoying. But the battery life did last about 8 to 10 days with the BIP 5, which that's pretty crazy. I would say I love not having to charge something often. So, gives and takes. But overall, if you're looking to upgrade a smartwatch, the Galaxy Watch 4 is a very viable option at only $60 that I paid. I would say even paying $80 to $100 is a pretty fair price for this. Does everything you need it to. Battery life, again, not the greatest, but hey, for the price that I'm paying and what I need it for, and something pretty affordable that if I break, you know, it won't hurt the wallet too much. I think it's a really good buy. So if you're interested in picking one up, I'll have links down below, possibly for even new ones if you guys are interested. But check out some refurbished ones, used ones on all websites, and I think you'd be pretty happy with just upgrading your smartwatch if that's what you're looking to do. All in all, I'm happy with the decision I made, returning the BIP 5 and getting the Galaxy Watch 4. I think they're both really good watches. The Watch 4 just has a little more features that I needed and wanted, so there's that. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think of the data down below, and if you're interested in picking one of these up, and if not, which one are you trying to buy? Because you know, I had to go through a lot of videos to even find some recommendations, which ones to buy at an affordable price. Just kind of curious. Let me know down below. Till then, catch you guys in the next video.